Hello and welcome to the EduWiki Starter Kit orientation session. It is lovely to have you all here. My name is Rhoda. I am the coordinator for the Resource Creation and Development Working Group, and we're happy to have you all here to go over the resource that we have worked on. And before we go into the session, I'd like to notify you all that this session is being recorded, and if you do not wish to have your face appear in the session or you do not wish to speak while being recorded, please take note of that, and you can make use of the chat for your questions and discussions. So today we'll be discussing the EduWiki Hub Newcomers Data Kit. This is a resource that has been created by the Resource Creation and Development Working Group with help from the EduWiki Hub team and the education Wikipedia and Education user group board members. So this resource has been specifically created to help newcomers in the movement or existing Wikimedians in the movement. It helps them in their programs or their projects that they are carrying out, and it serves as a roadmap to guide them on what to do, who to reach out to, and what they need to know about the movement, and examples that exist in the movement or outside the movement that they can use when they are coming up with their own projects or programs. So before we go into the session today, I would like us to go over the participation principle. This event is guided by the Wikimedia Friendly Space Policy. If you have any questions, concerns, or doubts, do not hesitate to put that in the chat. I would also like to remind us that as we're joining the meeting, if we as we're joining, we should mute our mics immediately after joining so as to not distract the speakers when they are having their sessions. We also encourage you to participate actively, openly, and respectfully as the session is going on. Also, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. We're going to have a question and answer at the end of the session presentation. So if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat or you can ask them then. Also, this session is being interpreted in French, Arabic, Indonesia, and Hindi. So if you wish to listen to this session in any of these languages, please make use of the interpretation box to do so. And also, I'd like to notify the speakers to speak slowly so the interpreters can catch what you're saying and interpret it effectively. Also, please update your Zoom name and pronouns for accurate attendance. And if you would like to listen to this session in other languages, you're going to see an interpretation globe. It looks like a globe, yes, at the bottom of your screen. You can just click on it and select whichever language of your choice you wish to listen to this session in. And next, I'm going to introduce you to the board members and the team. So we have the board members and the EduWiki Hub team here. They have also contributed on the starter kit. They've worked tirelessly on it to ensure that the kit contains necessary information for newcomers and existing Wikimedians, educators, students in the community. And we also have the working group members here. They are the group who have been working on this kit also. They have also contributed immensely to this kit to ensure that it is available and it has detailed information that will be helpful to those in the education community and outside of the community. So would like to say a big thank you to them for their contribution and their participation. And before we go into the first chapter today, I will be introducing the speaker for the chapter one. She is also a member of the resource creation and development working group, and she has also contributed immensely to this kit. I'll be handing the mic over to Sally.
Hello, my name's Sally Latham. I'm the Education Lead at Wikimedia UK and part of the Resource Curation Development EduWiki Working Group. It's a real pleasure to be here to talk to you about our beautiful starter kit. We really hope you love it as much as we do and find it really, really useful. I'm just going to talk really briefly about why we believe that the projects are so important and why education should be at the heart of everything we do in the Wikimedia movement. So we have the Wikimedia Foundation, which is a non-profit organisation which feeds into the critical technological support, legal support, advocacy, and is independent from but works alongside various international chapters. At the heart of everything are the actual people, the volunteers, the community groups, the researchers, the academics, people who work to maintain and sustain the beautiful wiki projects. And then the projects themselves, there are several of them. Wikipedia is obviously the most famous. It's the one most people have used, which is this multilingual free online encyclopedia, which gets over 500 million visitors and 18 billion hits per month, and is the most widely read research and reference source in history. But it's not the only project. We also have many more, including Wikimedia Commons, which is a free repository of files. So that's pictures, videos, audio. We have Wikidata, which is a huge collaboratively edited multilingual database, and others like Wiktionary, Wikisource, Wikibooks, which provides free textbooks and manuals and so on. So there's a whole host of interlinking projects that you might want to use in education, which, like I said, most people start with Wikipedia. So our goal is to make sure that people have access to the sum of all knowledge, that we empower people globally to contribute to open knowledge, to access open knowledge, and to see themselves represented in open knowledge. So the ecosystem is built from the ground up to provide open educational resources, making education the foundation of everything we do, not a separate section independent from the other work, but at the heart of all of our work. Because without education, people will not be able to use and understand these projects that we have. So the Wikimedia provision of OERs, we like to call these the 5 R's, our principles that we like people to think of when they're using our materials. So we want you to be able to firstly retain them. So we want you to be able to download them, keep them, have them in your own files in order to use as you see fit. Secondly, to reuse. So not just to read them, but to use them in your own projects, in your own education, in your education of other people. And importantly, we want you to revise them. So we want you to be able to take them, to look at them and adapt them for the needs of yourself, for your learners, for your community. So these are very much a work in progress that we expect you to add to and to improve to suit the needs of your cohort, of your audience. So in doing so, the 4th R, remix. So we would really like you to be able to use our materials and then remix them with your own materials and with other wiki projects. So that might mean using something from Wikipedia and combining it with something from Wikicommons or Wikidata in order to enhance it and to improve it. And then obviously redistribute. So they are free to redistribute and use within your own projects. So the idea is that our materials are highly adaptable. So educators can take them, but then work with them to suit their own needs. So we want you to be able to translate them, to simplify them, to add things to them, to cut bits out, and to combine resources to make it the best possible resource for your cohort, and to move beyond the text. So, use our vast resources in terms of images, videos, data, audio. All of these are things that will enhance the resources beyond just the words that you might find, say, on Wikipedia. So this is the bit that is most important to me. So why Wikimedia belongs in education. So firstly, we want young people, and actually all people, to be active contributors to the open knowledge ecosystem, not just passive consumers. So if people can see how they can contribute to the online ecosystem, information ecosystem, then this means that they will be more engaged. It stops this alienation. It stops people feeling like the internet is not for them. So it helps increase representation. So the more people are using Wikimedia projects in education, the more people will contribute to Wikimedia projects, and that means that there will be more representation and that more diversity, both in who's contributing and what content is out there. So we really believe that Wikimedia projects are hugely important for building media literacy skills. So in a world where people are being bombarded by misinformation and disinformation, where there's an increase in AI and AI generated news, very often people don't know what has been generated by AI and what hasn't. They don't know how to spot fake news. They don't know how to evaluate sources or to spot good sources. They don't know the difference between a neutral point of view, an encyclopedic writing, and an opinion piece that may have been produced by an influencer. And using Wikimedia projects can contribute to all of this. So what many people, particularly young people, are looking for is a place where they can go and find completely human-generated knowledge and human-generated content, and know that that will always be the case. To understand that this will be a neutral point of view and not something that is given through somebody's opinion. It's not biased. There's no commercial interest. Their choices will not be driven by addictive algorithms. Any knowledge rabbit holes that they might go down will be completely their own. We also find that then this will decrease polarization. So by really understanding how to analyse the information that they receive online and where to go to find neutral information, this decreases the polarization and the misunderstanding that can be so prevalent in today's community. And we also know that increased participation in Wikimedia projects leads to increased civic engagement and increased democratic engagement. So, particularly young people who might be coming to get the vote, educating them into where they can find good quality neutral information will help them participate in the democratic process. So we also believe that global collaboration collects learners and peers internationally, and this will also contribute to more understanding and more openness and a willingness to see other people's points of view and to work together and to problem solve. These skills of professional teamwork that are so important, that are best taught via projects and via learning rather than in isolation. And we really want to build a community of educators who support each other, who help each other, who say what's worked, what hasn't worked, that share resources in order to build up this strong community of Wikimedia educators. Thank you.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. My name is Shreya and I'm also the board member of Wikipedia and Education User Group. And now, so we are here moving ahead with the chapter 2, which is Meet the Community. So I really like this section because it helps us to understand what the people are in the community and how things are structured. And whatever we do, it covers it all. So we'll be going through a few things together, like difference between Wikipedia and education user group and the EduWiki hub, how the community is governed, how you can become a member, the different ways we stay in touch, and whom you should reach out whenever you need support. I hope by the end of this, you will be pretty clearer and more informed on how things work here. So, moving ahead, now these are two of the names that you will come across quite often, and I just want to take a moment to gently walk you through each one of them, because I know that things can be pretty confusing at first, but it's completely okay. So, first and foremost, Wikipedia and Education User Group. It is also known as WEUG. It's a global volunteer led Wikimedia affiliate that was recognized in the year 2018. As as suggested by the name, it brings Wikipedia projects into learning environment, and that is around the world, and it's very much driven by the people and the people in it. As the community grew, there was a need of something more structured to support all the work we have been doing in the past years. And that's how the EduWiki Hub came in. It was established in the year 2025. The hub is more of an operational arm for Wikimedia and Education User Group. It provides the staff, the structure, the resources, and the programming needs that help the community goals actually come to life. So if you think in a bit simpler way, Wikipedia and Education User Group is more of a community-driven user group, and the EduWiki Hub is the operational arm of community like these. What are the key areas of EduWiki Hub? So the main key areas are working groups. So there are four working groups which the hub has set up. So the working groups are outreach and engagement working group, resource curation and development user group, technical infrastructure working user group, capacity building and volunteer support user group. So not user group, working group. So these are the four working groups, and the coordination between these four working groups is looked after by the hub, EduWiki Hub, and I really thank the people working in the hub, because they really they are really doing great in managing all the coordination, in doing the meetings and all of that. Okay, then the next one we have is the capacity building. So, obviously, you being the member, you would also want to learn or build up more capacities, maybe in some educational areas or any other Wikimedia, project which is going on. So, with the capacity building, within the capacity building, there is a mentor-mentee program going on. The cohort 2 is live. If you're interested, you can simply register there. So the pair of mentor and mentee is formed. The hub look after it, and whenever and it's a 6-month program wherein the mentee can learn from the mentor and can gain more knowledge. So that is about the capacity building. Then knowledge sharing. So we have knowledge forecast. So every one or 2 months we do the knowledge sharing, wherein everyone across the globe, whoever is running any educational program or working in any educational capacity within the Wikipedia space, comes in and share their knowledge if they've built any new tool or started a new project or a community. So this is the place where they can share whatever knowledge is there, and share with a wider community. Then comes the resource curation. So all the resources So in the resource curation, it is organized, all the resources are organized and made available at a central point, wherein wherever any people or person is looking for maybe anything regarding the education spaces. So the team is working really hard to curate all the resource at one central platform. You can also go through the meta page and read more about them. Then comes the community outreach and engagement. So here, the main focus is on the EduWiki newsletters. So we do publish newsletters every month. And if you are someone who is, who has already been working in the educational space and don't know about EduWiki newsletter, this is the place where you can share whatever you are doing within your community, or even if you're just starting up something like an education program or a club in your university, or any glam project you have taken up. This is the place where you can showcast all of these through the newsletters, and it will be published on our mailing list and the meta pages, LinkedIn post, and all of that. So your work will be visible to more communities, and everyone will be more encouraged. So I would really strongly recommend you to share um, whatever you're doing in the educational spaces through the EduWiki newsletter. Then comes the technical support. Technical support. So here, we are also working in the program and event dashboard, wherein the technical support it helps us, build the resources or any tool, or work in, better build the programs and event dashboard, gives feedbacks and all of that. So these are the six key um, areas, and yeah, it really helps everything running very smoothly. Moving forward, the governance and mentorship membership. So for a community of this size, having a clearer and transparent structure really matters. And I think the way Education Hub has set things up is quite thoughtfully. So there are three layers in the governance. One is the elected board, who looks more on the strategic direction. Then comes the working group that is made of volunteers who, from different areas of the world or different regions, who work on a specific area, wherever whichever working group they're a part of. Then comes the advisory. So advisory is someone who brings up expert guidance wherever needed. So everything is also operated by official, under official bylaw, and community is kept informed through monthly hub reports, and also through annual user group reports. So yeah, you can also check out the meta pages for these reports, and also subscribe to the mailing list to get informed. Then is the most important and interesting part, membership. How can you become a member? So, I would encourage anyone who is working in the educational space, or maybe is inspired to work in, future to in any educational space. You can simply fill up the membership form and become a member. So it's not mandatory to have any technical skill or something like that. If you're working, or are interested in something more into educational, feel free to fill our registration form, sorry, membership form, and be a part of the community. And yeah, your data will be secured and will be private, so don't worry about that. Moving ahead, the communication channels. So at the EduWiki Hub, staying connected is the core, and how we work. So there are different communication channel where things are shared to get updated. Celebrations are there, and members are informed about the programs, events, and activities. So, first is the education mailing list, a good place to keep up with discussions and announcement over emails. Then is the education newsletter, a regular. It is published regularly every month, and the projects highlights are there, community news are there, opportunities around the Wikimedia in education is there. So it's a lovely way to stay in touch and be inspired and informed about the community work. The third is the EduWiki, social media. So we are on Telegram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So and also we have our official meta page where everything is documented, and all the reports and everything goes there in the meta page. So it is freely and transparently available for everyone to read. So do subscribe our social media channels, do uh, you know be a part of our Telegram group, because there are different community members who also share different updates or any meetings or any events which are going on. So it is a really good space to get in touch, and also through our LinkedIn and Facebook and our YouTube. Then the last one, who should you contact? So this is something I really think will be helpful for you to know. Whom should you contact whenever you need any support or guidance? So, if you're connected to a user group and affiliates, the right person to be in touch will be the educational program officer or the program officer within your region. If you are also the board of the user group, so that would be really helpful for you if you want to know anything regarding those. If you are part of a wiki club or network or a community of students or something like that, you can reach out to the leads who initiated that club or the presidents. That should be the good point of contact for you. And if you want any guidance regarding any regarding funding or strategy, or if you want project development or something like that, staff members are really well placed to help. They have experience and the resources to guide you. So you can also reach out to the staff members. Everything is documented in the meta page. So you can simply get go through their user pages and contact them, also through Telegram groups. Then, so to find the contacts, you can also check out affiliate supporting membership list, and also look onto the spreadsheet of education program. And also you can browse through the capex organization. So there is a capex uh, capacity exchange, it's known as. So there everything is listed, all the people with different uh, you know uh, the different capacities they list there. And you can also go through the profile if you need any uh, support from of or any particular support. You can reach out to them directly through the capex platform. So the support is very much there, and it's just about knowing where to look. And I hope this helps with that. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for whoever has joined in. So I'll move my mic to the coordinator. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, Shreya. Thank you so much for that. Yes, so we have the starter kit, which has already been uploaded on Commons, and the link will be pasted down below, so you can have access to it and you can go through all this information that has been provided. So before we get into the chapter 3, and we're making good time, before we get into the chapter 3, we are going to be going over an icebreaker just to take a break from the starter kit, and we want to we want to see if you've been following us along this session. So I'll be calling on to Rita. She will be handling the starter kit, the icebreaker. So I will be passing the mic over to Rita right now.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us today and to the amazing speakers that we had until now. For any questions during all of this, please feel free to unmute your mic or chat in the message box. I will only need the presentation through the Kahoot to be shared, please. You are muted, we cannot just hear you.
Sorry about that. So here's the link. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you everyone. And can you please just confirm that you can join through the link? The game pin is as shown 2680241. We will also share it in the message box. And also you have the QR code if you are not joining through your phone, so you can use it and join through the phone. We'll just take a minute for everyone to make sure it's working and also for the interpreters to have some time to present this in the languages. I see that we have a few of you joining. For anyone that has any troubles, you have the link and also the pin copy-pasted on the chat. Okay, I see more of you are joining. Perfect. We have a lot of avatars. Perfect. I think, Rhoda, we can... Okay, we have a few more. Let's wait. Okay. I think we can start, and whoever that joins can find the link and the pin on the chat. So as Rhoda said, we are wanting to see how much attention did you pay. So now we have a poll. How are you feeling about the sessions so far? This one is an easy one. Are you curious and excited, eager to contribute? I saw a lot of comments and I feel like a lot of you are eager to contribute. Here to just learn for now or already are involved? To a few members that just joined, please find the code that you need on the chat. Okay, this is a good one. So we are curious and excited. We are eager to contribute. Some of us are here to learn, and we have a lot of you already involved. Let's go to the next question. Which groups handles the legal and technology needs for the Wikimedia projects? Is it the Wikibooks, Wikiclub, Wiktionary, or the Wikimedia Foundation? We have Obi with a problem to see the options. So most of you got the correct answer, which is Wikimedia Foundation. If you're just seeing the shapes, you can see the options in the shared screen if it's available for you. We're waiting just so everyone can be correct. So you're gonna see the shapes, but the options will display on the screen that is shared. I believe we can continue to the next one, and leading for now we have KK. Which projects provide structured data? Is it Commons, Wikiversity, Wikibooks, or is it Wikidata? I feel like the answer is in the question itself. So most of you got it right, and it's Wikidata. We are still leading KK, and we have some that are reaching up higher on the board. Let's continue to the next question. Which of the following are part of the 5 R's of open educational resources? So the OERs. This is a multiple one. So we have pay for access, revise and remix, retain and reuse, and restrict sharing. We're getting with some tougher questions now. So let's see how we will answer this one. We have 16 answers already. Everyone's being quick. And the correct ones were revise and remix and retain and reuse, which most of you got correct. Thankfully, no one answered that paying is one of the options. We have KKL still leading the scoreboard. Let's go to the next questions. Which role does the EduWiki Hub play? Operational delivery, grant auditing, content control, or server hosting? We are hoping you get this one right. For everyone that's just joining, we are playing a quiz game, which you can find the details in the chat. You can find the link as well as the code needed for the game. And the right answer was selected from 10 of you, which is operational delivery. Let me just repeat that we are playing the quiz game through Kahoot, which is also the link shown in the chat, and the pin is 2680241, which is also shared in the chat for anyone who just joined. I will be resharing the link as needed. As well as the code. For anyone who just joined, please hop on to the next question now. Oh, we have Christy now, that's the first on the scoreboard. Let's go to the next question, please. Which tool helps source citations? Is it the Citation Hunt, FTP Client, Paint 3D, or Wikimedia Commons Upload Wizard? We have 15 answers already. 18, 19, 20. Hopefully the correct ones. And the correct was citation hunt, which was chosen from 20 of you. Obi is our supervisor for now. We have Christy, who's now the first on the scoreboard. Let's see the next questions and who's gonna lead them next. What are the main communication channels used by EduWiki Hub? This is a multiple option. So we have EduWiki newsletter, billboards, fax blasts, and educational mailing list. For anyone who just joined, you have the link and pin for the game in the chat. We have 20 answers already. It's a multiple one, so let's see which one are the right ones. And the correct ones were the EduWiki newsletter and the educational mailing list. We might have a few more channels, but these are the only ones that we short. Oh, we have still Christy, but Owly Night is right behind. So let's see to the next question who will be the first on the scoreboard. This is also a multi-select one. Which governance elements exist? Bylaws, board elections, royal patron, or censorship office? We have a few answers already. And I'll repeat because we have a lot of people joining. For everyone that just joined, we are doing a game through Kahoot, which you can find the link and pin above in the chat. And the right answer were bylaws and board elections, which were chosen from most of you, thankfully. Let's see. Oh, another surpass. Owly Nights is the first on the board. Let's see the next questions and who will be next. Another multi-select one. Which planning partners are suggested? University librarians, crypto miners, education NGOs, or ticket scalpers? Hopefully this is an easy one. We have 20 answers already. 22, 23, and the right answer was university librarians and educational NGOs, which were chosen from most of you. Sadly, it's not crypto miners. And we have Owly Night still the first on the scoreboard. Which privacy step is essential for minors? Is it hidden uploads, no consent needed, guardian consent, or verbal rumor? And the correct answer chosen from most of you, it's guardian consent, which is something very essential for the minors. We still have Owly Nights, the first on the scoreboard. But let's go to the few last questions that we have. Which training practices help beginners? Clear instructions, skip Q&A, local examples, or jargon overload. This is a multiple select one as well. We have 20 answers already. a few more thinking about it. And the right answers were clear instructions, of course, and examples are always very welcomed. Let's go to the last but not least of our questions, with Owly Knight still leading the scoreboard. What is the scope of the Universal Code of Conduct? Is it optional suggestions, only for admins, only at events, or applies to everyone? For the people who just joined us, we are on our last question game through Kahoot, so you can just take a seat and listen to the question. And most of you got the correct one, which is applies to everyone, which does apply to everyone. Thank you very much for playing. And we had 921 points from KK as our third. And our first, we had Owly Night. Thank you for everyone playing, and it hopefully was a nice and playful icebreaker. For any more informations that you need to go back on, always feel free to go to the starter kit, contact us through email and other channels, as you saw as well that we have. Or if you want to ask questions now, please feel free to use the message chat box. Thank you. I'm giving the mic back to Rhoda.
Hey, that was very lovely. That was lovely to see. And some of the questions were also, the answers rather, were also lovely to see. And I think, although some of the questions were from the chapter 3, but we just sprinkled that in there so we can get a base of where you're at, and then we can just have that chapter 3 as a way to let you know what is going on in that chapter and what to prepare for. So I'm glad to see that most of us are not beginners, although I'm also happy to see that we have newbies in our midst, and we have people who this starter kit is going to help broaden their knowledge and the information that they have about the Wikimedia movement and the education user, the Wikipedia and education user group, and the EduWiki help. So without further ado, I'll be calling on Manav to take us on the chapter 3, which is on planning your initiative. She's also one of the working group members who worked tirelessly on this starter kit to ensure that it is available for you to use. So I'll be passing the mic over to her. Over to you, Mana.
Thank you so much, Ruda. I believe I'm audible. I've just lost power, and that's why I'm on my phone data. If at any point my sound is disrupted, please let me know. I'll turn off the video to save bandwidth. Um, but while the quiz was going on, I think the one question I had in mind was probably we don't need session 3. Probably right away jump into discussions about how do we want to plan activities. But again, it's so good and refreshing to see so many people join in, especially in the education sphere here. And when I was actually going to plan my discussion today for this specific chapter of the starter kit, the one thing that was constantly coming to my mind was that the university where I graduated from had a motto called Vidya Vichari Taparupkari Hai, which is a local language, Punjabi, which generally means that thoughtful knowledge becomes service to others. And that's why when we're working on this specific chapter, the one thing that we have highlighted in that segment is that when we design EduWiki programs, the question is not what Wikimedia activity should should we run? Like, what kind of activity should we do with education? The real question is, what should the learners gain from it? Education is so widespread, there is no limitation on what kind of work and where we can actually run an education activity, because the purpose of this at the end of the day is to use education in a way where it helps spread the knowledge, yes, of course, but also helps the participants learn something from the initiatives that we do, from the work that we do in this open knowledge movement. Mm, And because at the core, as I mentioned earlier, EduWiki is not about editing Wikipedia. It is about learning for professionals, for teachers, for librarians, for students, and anyone who feels they can contribute to this to expand access to knowledge. When these kind of initiatives are done right, the participants build essential skills like research, critical thinking, media and information literacy, collaboration, digital citizenship, and also deeper subject knowledge. These are not just Wikimedia skills, these are lifelong skills. And that's why we'll be talking in the few coming slides, we'll be talking about different kind of approaches that we can use when we are actually planning these initiatives. How can we derive learnings from the work that we are doing? What kind of tools and resources are available to us? And when we are organizing initiatives, it becomes our responsibility that everyone who's participating in those initiatives is able to do it well in a way where it is a safe and inclusive space for everyone. So we'll be touching a bit on those aspects of organizing activities as well. Next slide, please. Okay. Again, there are endless types of projects that can be designed within the education space. And that's why before designing any kind of program, we have to choose a format that aligns with our learning goals. And different kind of approaches serves different kind of purposes. And that's why the broader classification that we had in the starter kit is there are three broader categories. The first one is skill building initiative, such as a program for teachers, their training and their professional development. These kind of activities focus on equipping educators with ability to integrate Wikimedia into their teaching, whether it can be by designing assignments, guiding students in Wikipedia editing, or even developing and funding their own EduWiki programs. The second segment here is content campaigns. These can include classroom assignments. We can generally call it as edit for credit model, because generally when teachers run editathons with students, it's more like if you're contributing your assignments on Wikipedia, they generally get credits for that. And along with editathons, which is a wider known way of contributing to Wikipedia projects, there are many contests that we run. There are many multimedia drives that we also run. And then it is also, when we are doing this, the learners actively contribute to knowledge. But in doing so, they also learn how knowledge is created, verified, and shared. Then the third category that we had here was conference and community convenings. We do a lot of work in our own spaces and regions, but we can't be experimental about everything that we do. And that's why it's important that we talk to each other about the work that we do, the impact of that work, and the importance of the work that we are doing. And that's why it's important that we meet each other, share our work, and derive those learnings from each other so that we can also see if something can be replicated in our own regions and how we can actually help each other run these activities in a better way. Because the good program is not just about ideas, they're also about tools. We'll now be talking about different kind of tools that we have that will help you run these programs well. Next slide, please. There are some tools that can actually make your work much more easier. For example, for newcomers, there are features like Newcomer homepage, and there is a micro task generator help, which actually extends support to participants to take their initial steps by suggesting simple, meaningful edits, by creating a list that needs some sort of modification, list of articles that need modification, and you can simply use that tool to identify those pages needing modification, which for a newcomer is very helpful. Then there is a very important tool, especially for people who are in the organizer space, which is program management. So we have a programs and events dashboard, which is very essential if you want to track the progress, if you want to track what kind of activity has happened within your initiative, and if you really want to see the larger impact of those edits or those contributions that people have made. And then the next one is organizing event tools like event registration systems, Google Forms, Eventbrite support planning, communication and coordination. So these kind of tools actually help you when you are organizing some sort of off-wiki activity, where you want to actually gather ideas from people, what kind of interest do they have an inclusive model of design, and also if you want to seek feedback on how well that initiative was, or if people would need some sort of modification, then Google Forms, etc., play a very important role. Then we have tools for training. Then we have platforms like Zoom and Google to meet each other. We are a wide community set up in the whole wide world, and that's why these kind of tools help connect us with each other. And then there are many other tools like for improving content quality. There is Citation Hunt, Find Source Gadget, etc. But while we are doing all of this, while we're talking about how we are planning our initiative, what kind of tools are important to run those initiatives and to be able to gain insights from them and to run them well in the future rounds, there are certain other aspects that we'll have to keep in mind, which are more of an organizer responsibility. So we'll talk about them now. Next slide, please. Yeah. So because you're working with wider set of individuals, you're working with students of different age groups, you're working with people from different kind of backgrounds who are working in different areas. Some of those areas might be a little more sensitive than others, and that's why every space requires certain amount of caution in terms of how those people are engaged, how you talk about our work, and how you engage them on the Wikimedia platform as well. Especially in this space, privacy and consent are critical because there are students involved, and sometimes those students can be minors as well. For example, for large groups, photography is usually fine, but when focusing on individuals, especially minors, we must seek consent. Though there were some cheat questions in the quiz before this, but it was so heartwarming to see that we all are already very conscious of what our responsibilities are in this space, especially around minors. And most of us are already aware that this consent in case of minors come from their guardians. And participants should clearly understand that any kind of photos or videos may be shared on our platforms like Wikimedia Commons, where they can be reused. And that's why release forms are very important so that people can consent to whether or not they are okay with their images being shared on an open platform. And also, those pictures can be used in Wikimedia projects. You can find more information from the additional resources that we have provided in the resource kit. Next slide, please. So these are kind of best practices that organizers need to keep in mind when you are planning an event. Any kind of EduWiki programs take a lot of planning, communication, and follow-up. And if you're just starting out, these are the key elements that you should keep in mind. The first thing is, do not try to do everything at once. Start small. The best utilization of resources is, as Sally already mentioned in her presentation, that we are talking about how you would use this resource, how would you share this resource and also reform this resource. That is the key of keeping a resource alive and also keeping it up to the date. And that's why use existing templates, adapt them to the local context, and also build step by step. Because in most of the cases, the planning takes longer than the event itself. And it's okay because there are so many multiple pieces that are moving and that are also independent of each other, especially in the education space, that what matters in this space is not the scale, but the intention. And if we stay focused on what learners gain in this initiative rather than just what they will do, we can create EduWiki programs that are not only impactful, but also transformative. Um, so first, you will do a lot of planning around who are you targeting? What are you trying to do with them? Who can help you do this better? And that is where you actually think about partnerships. And after you have identified the core of the initiative, you start your outreach. Next slide, please. Then training. Training is, I believe, the first step of any EduWiki initiative. Training on how to read Wikipedia, how to use resources, how to validate the information that you are consuming, and also training about contributing to different kind of projects. Training about what kind of policies do we have on Wikimedia projects and how to adhere to those policies. And then the stage 4 is the key for any program to actually gain the visibility, to gain the impact or a long-term engagement. That is the pure intent of every organizer, which is storytelling and reporting. In the aspects of reporting, organizers have often focused more on reporting how we have used money, how many articles were created, how many people participated. But storytelling is an art where you can simply turn your simple observations to greater insights that can actually help someone with baseline information on what kind of key things to avoid or what kind of guardrails to keep in mind if you're working with certain set of individual in a certain sphere which might be sensitive. So these kind of storytelling is not only about the metrics of what your program outcome was, but also about what do you feel as somebody who was leading that initiative could have been done differently, what worked well for you, what did not, and any kind of recommendations that you have. Next slide, please. Inclusivity, privacy, and safety are the core of any Wikimedia initiative. Our basic goal is to make sure knowledge is accessible, knowledge is representative, and in order to achieve this, we have to be open, inclusive, and welcoming to everyone, irrespective of their age, gender, religion, background, or experience level. And that's why there are certain set of guidelines that we have available where we can read them, learn more about it. There are different committees that are also available to provide any kind of assistance and clarification. So all of those important policies have been So all of those policies are linked in the starter kit. You can always refer to them. And especially if you're working with minors, do study the Safety for Young Wikimedians resource that we have also linked in the starter kit. Next slide, please. Yeah, with this, I just want to say it's not like we are saying we as people who are working on the starter kit know it better than you. It's just that there were different kind of organizers in the room. And as people who started with no starter kit, we had to learn it the harder way. And that's why we just created the starter kit as a tool for somebody who's new to the Wikimedia space and can find this as a helpful resource. Yeah. With this, I will pass this back to Rita.
Thank you, Mana. Please let's ensure we are muted. So as we don't distract the session. Thank you so much, Manav, for that. You put it in very simple and easy to understand terms. So I will be going over the EduWiki updates. This is when I um, I'm going to be putting the link to the starter kit and the chat below so that we can have access to it if you want to make use of, if you want to have access to the starter kit. And yes, we will be sharing this presentation in case you want to go through it. But I also want to let you know that the starter kit has more information than what you can find on the slide. So I'd advise that you go through the starter kit for all the information that you need. Also, okay, let me just quickly pause sharing my slide so that, oh, sorry about that. Okay, so also I want to have this like an open call for all of us that in this meeting, so we can also translate the starter kit into your local language. We welcome that very much. Anybody who is interested or is open to translating the starter kit into multiple languages, we would love to have you do that so we can have it available in multiple languages and they can have access to it for those who would not do not speak in English or would rather have this starter kit in other languages. So I dropped the link to the starter kit and the chat below. You can use this link to download the kits on Commons, and it will also be put on the meta page for this program. So if you want to go back to this to look through it, you can also do that. And also, we welcome you to join the community. We welcome you to be a part of the community. If you already haven't joined, I've put down the link to the mailing list so you can get more information about the starter kit or our other programs. You can get that information via the starter kit. So we're also on Instagram and LinkedIn where we put out information about our latest program or what we're having, what we're doing at that very moment. So you can also follow us on there to get more information about that. We also have a Telegram group that you can also be a part of. I'll be dropping the link to that shortly. So you can, if you need quick information about what the group does, you can get it from there, or other things that are happening in the EduWiki community, you can get more information from there. So yeah, we have the Telegram group link in the chat, and you can join us there. So I'm very happy to have you all here, and I want to say a very big thank you to all the speakers who have presented this starter kit to you. And I also want to say a big thank you to the working group members. They've worked tirelessly to ensure that the starter kit has all the information that it needs to have to ensure that newbies are able to make use of it very well. And I also want to say thank you to those who participated in the icebreaker early night, who was our champion, and KK, who was also on the leaderboard, and everybody's name who I might not remember to list. So we also have the mentorship. We also have mentorship programs that we do. If you want to be assigned to a mentor, although I think the second cohort was just done. So you can keep an eye out for the next cohort if you'd like to be a part of that. But I can call on Rita. She can speak more on that if you're available to do so, Rita.
Yes, of course. So we have the second cohort with application open through the Capacity Exchange, which you can easily find throughout our meta page. And I can be sharing that as well, where you can find all of our work and especially everything that we have ongoing right now. So the mentorship application is through Capacity Exchange. I think most of you have heard about Capacity Exchange, CAPEX as for short. But if not, it's a very easy panel to use, which you will have through your username preferred Wikimedia account. So we're looking for mentors or mentees, as you see fit, to volunteer and help each other throughout different regions. It's not only on English, it can be on different languages as we have available. I'm going to go just a bit slower for the interpreters. And there is also a part where we can start with the work on education. You can find help with technical areas, with partnerships, with starting an educational program in your region or community, or strengthening the one that you already have. So it is connecting people throughout regions, languages, through education, and it's not a lot of work. So if you are available as a mentor or you want to learn and become a mentee, please apply through the Capacity Exchange. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us and we will help you throughout anything that you might need help. Thank you very much. I will share also the application link in the chat now for you to find it easier.
Thank you, Rita. Thank you so much. So yeah, if you're interested in that, you can apply to be a mentor or a mentee. We'll be glad to have you. So before we go any further, I want to open the floor up to the participants. Do you have any questions for the speakers or just want to know more about the starter kits? You can go ahead. Do we have any questions? Maybe you want to know more about the starter kits. Please go ahead. Also, yeah, so presenting on your screen is the EduWiki starter kit, newcomers starter kit on Commons, where you can go ahead to download it, read through it, translate it. We welcome you to do that. We also have our OER documentation page. I'm just going to be putting that in the chat. The OER page is an initiative of the EduWiki Hub where you can get information about resources similar to the starter kits. And these are also resources that have been provided by our working group members and amongst others. So if you need more resources, maybe something that you can't find on the starter kits, you can check out the OER documentation page. Obi, you have your hands raised. Please go ahead.
Okay. Good evening once again. Just wanted to find out from the last speaker that spoke about Wikipedia in the classroom. Now, for the starter kit, is it a standard design that runs across all the levels of education? What I mean, level of education is, I know in Nigeria, we have the early childhood, we have the secondary education, what they call high school, then we have the university. So the starter kit for Wikipedia in the classroom? Which of the levels does it belong to?
If I get your question, are you asking specifically about the EduWiki Newcomer starter kit or the reading Wikipedia in the classroom?
The reading Wikipedia in the classroom.
Okay, so in this starter kit, we have different kind of programs that you can have access to, although we had to summarize it. So you might not find a lot about reading Wikipedia in the classroom in this starter kit because it's not, we don't want to limit you to just the reading Wikipedia in the classroom project. So there are different kind of projects you can participate in, and the reading Wikipedia in the classroom has its own kits, I think, which are available that you can make use of. So this data kit is not focused on the reading Wikipedia in the classroom. It just cites it as one of the programs which you can carry out. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. So as I was saying, you can have access to other OERs if you need more information or more resources. So I've dropped the link down, and if there's something that maybe you can't find on our starter kits, you can always check the OER documentation page for more information. So we are getting close to the end of the session for today. I want to thank you all once again for joining us. I've had a lovely time with you here, and I'm very happy to see that this data kit has been able to be published. So before we go, if we can just put on our cameras, I'm going to stop recording. So if you do not want, yeah.